Hi, we are David and Gabriele, and here we will present our work for the first assignment of knowledge representation. In our work, we delve into the relation between human strategies and SAS solvers when it comes to solve Sudoku's puzzle. We thought that human reasoning and SAS solver are based on similar logic fundamentals, and so we suppose that there exists some kind of relation between Sudoku's difficulties perceived by humans and SAS solvers. Now we present more precisely our hypothesis. The first idea we had was that there should have been a direct relation between the increase in Sudoku's difficulty and the SAS solver performances. Following this reasoning, we thought that the more constraints were added by implementing new strategies, the more the source space of the problem is reduced. As a result, we expected that simpler human strategies would be more influential for the simpler puzzles, and vice versa.
In order to verify our hypothesis, we set up some experiments. First, we briefly present how we ran them. The first thing we did was to find a good dataset to run our experiments. On this purpose, we built a web scraper to download puzzles from an online website, which provided Sudokus classified in 9 different levels of difficulty. We gathered 100 examples for each of them, resulting in a final dataset of 900 Sudokus. The second step involved translating each puzzle in a propositional language encoding. Precisely, we encoded the givens of Sudoku as unit closings in CNF formulas, where a variable represents a particular value in one of the 81 cells of the puzzle. Moreover, we encoded in CNF the basic rules of the puzzle, namely that each cell has one and only one number, that each number appears at least once in each row, column, and block, and that, as an advanced encoding, each number appears at most once in each row and column.
Thereafter, we implemented in propositional logic 6 different human strategies. In order of complexity, they are single box, cross-hatching, candidate lines, naked pair, X-wing, and alternate pairs. In order to accomplish this task, we first translated their definitions into implication, and then we transformed them into conjunctive normal form. For example, this formula shows the encoding of the candidate line strategies. The inside of the parentheses represents the implication, while the external conjunctions represent every possible number to consider and every possible place where the rule can be applied. In order to run the experiments, we employed the Minisat software. It represents a well-documented and efficient SAS solver, easy to customize, and providing a good amount of information. Precisely, during the experiments, we enabled preprocessing and disabled random actions in order to have deterministic executions. Finally, before running the experiments, we had to define the metrics to employ. We chose the number of decisions the solver had taken as our metric because less decisions mean that more choices were constrained, and so that the added clauses have been more useful. Likewise, we think that also the average number of propagations per decision and the number of conflicts should be quite informative. Lastly, though we know that CPU time cannot be a reliable metric, we think that it is not possible to completely ignore it, as adding many clauses can significantly slow down the solver.
We run 3 different experiments. Firstly, we make the SAS solver work on all the puzzles with only the basic rules in order to understand whether different human difficulties were related to the solver performances. Secondly, we added each of the 6 implemented strategies alone to see how they affect the solver. At last, we tried different combinations of strategies to see whether adding one strategy to the others can enhance their effects. In this figure, each dot represents the number of decisions taken when solving a puzzle, where the color indicates its difficulty. We see that the number of decisions tends to grow along with the human difficulty. However, difficulties 6, 7, and 8 show an average decrease even though they present very high outliers. On the other hand, difficulty 9 shows a huge increase both in its values and in its variance. Very similar results have been found considering the conflicts. By looking at the plot, it is evident that employing strategies in the encoding changes the behavior and performances of the solver. Single box, cross-hatching, candidate lines greatly reduce conflicts and decisions, while naked pairs, X-wing, alternate pairs do not generate any relevant improvement.
To compare combinations of different techniques, we looked at the average improvement over the same 3 metrics. By applying single box, we denote a great decrease in the conflicts for level 1 to 4, especially when no easy technique has been already applied. Finally, a sharp fall in the number of decisions happens in level 3, and also on level 9, the strategy seems to be very useful. The effects of employing cross-hatching technique can be seen in a great decrease in conflicts for level 1 to 3, and a large increase in propagation per decision in level 2 to 5. Moreover, the 100% improvement in propagations per decision when added to naked pairs is remarkable. However, this strategy is not influential when added to single box or candidate lines, as the figures points out. Using candidate lines results in a similar pattern to the one of single box, with best improvements for level 2 to 5 and also on the most difficult Sudokus.
A remarkable effect caused by employing naked pairs can be seen in the 120% improvement in propagations per decisions in level 4. This behavior is confirmed in the graph of propagations per decision, where all the combinations including naked pairs reach top results. X-wing and alternate pairs do not provide any meaningful result. The floating in graphs may be explained as experiment noise. After analyzing the data, we spent some time in interpreting the results. The first consideration we made is that, confirming our hypothesis, there is a relationship between outside solvers and humans' perceived difficulty in Sudokus. Also, we have seen that easier strategies, which in the encoding are represented by shorter clauses, are more effective. Again, we believe that single box and candidate lines give similar results because one strategy is the reverse implication of the other, and so they work on the same set of cells. Finally, we think that naked pairs is useful starting from level 4 when combined with easier strategies because they reduce the initial set of candidates for these harder problems, making it possible to apply this complex technique. In conclusion, we verified that harder quizzes are also difficult for self-solvers. We noticed that applying human strategies decrease the number of conflicts and decisions. Further improvements can be obtained by combining more techniques, with easier combinations being more useful for lower levels, and longer combinations achieving top results in difficult Sudokus.
In the end, we thought about interesting future developments of our study. At first, we wondered if self-solvers could somehow infer some intelligent strategies from learned clauses. To study this, we will look for a similarity between the learning clauses and human strategies encoding. Another idea was that we could improve self-solver performances by applying strategies only on puzzles that purposely need them. This could be done by using the description of required techniques provided for each Sudoku in our dataset.